Hey, welcome to the Lean to the Left podcast, where our passion is supporting progressive politics and exploring the key social issues that face all of us. Today, we're going to China, where we'll be speaking with Dr. John H. Cary, an American physician, author living there. We'll discuss the international implications of Trump's announced plans, including his promised tariffs on imported goods and much, much more. Dr. Cary is the author of a new work of fiction called Alcatraz Awaits, The Legacy of Donald Trump. Obviously, he's no fan of the orange one. We'll talk about what that book is all about, as well as my own book that's just been published, Hijacked Nation, Donald Trump's Attack on America's Greatness, which is co-authored with my fellow writer, C.J. Waldron. Dr. Cary grew up in LaGrange, Georgia, and now lives in Yinchan, China, where he teaches university English. He practices Chinese medicine, specializing in acupuncture. So he's an American doctor using Chinese medicine on Chinese patients. He's a big, tall blonde, so I guess they can tell he's not Chinese. Anyway, besides China, Dr. Cary has taught in Korea and Iraq. His next book is nonfiction entitled, get this one, Artificial, The Rise of the Sex Doll. I wonder what the hell that's going to be about. Anyway, we got a lot to cover, John, so let's get going. First of all, just let me welcome you to the Lean to the Left podcast. This is really wild. I'm talking to somebody 7,000 miles away, and it's just incredible to me that we're doing that. It's like you're right next door. So that's amazing. Tell us a little bit about your book and saw that you've got a judge sentencing Trump to prison alone on the island of Alcatraz for the rest of his life. That's pretty much a fantasy, right?
Yeah, okay. Here we are. We had so many lockdowns. I never knew when one would happen because of the pandemic. So I thought the mother of all questions is what if? I thought if the Teflon wore off from Trump and they finally had to put him away, they couldn't put him in prison because in a regular prison, they'd have to protect him according to the law.
Yeah.
I said, put him on Alcatraz by himself, mind the place around it, and just hope he hurries up and dies. And anyway, so I said, this would be ideal.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
after and so anyway, there's Trump by himself. He's having to do stuff like make his own bed, cook his own food,
Yeah.
garden, and stuff like that. Oh
That
yeah,
must have been hard on him.
yeah. They didn't allow him to bring golf clubs, and there's no McDonald's. So, but
Okay.
he's saying anyway, he has to be trained for a day how to catch fish and stuff like that, and then he does this amazing change, a
Mhm.
radical change after about a year.
Yeah.
And I thought it was I don't, come on. Everybody loves Trump, right? So does he. And what do you expect? But he would actually like the book once he
You think
read past
so? Do you think he would?
it. Yeah, because actually they start sending assassins because they get tired of him being alive. They said, well, we're going to send these guys that are in prison there for the next millennium,
Yeah.
and these bad guys, okay, and we're gonna get him to kill him. But they don't know that the guy changes. I didn't know how
Uh,
the book was gonna go because here I am, I'm just writing away, and I said, that's a good idea. Okay, writing fiction is like watching a movie. Just
okay.
like that. I don't. There's no way in hell I could write a book like artificial is different, but we.
Last night I was laying in bed and I'm working on a novel and I've been working on it for a while and I keep coming back to it and coming back to it. Anyway, all of a sudden last night I had this epiphany and the entire plot just played out into my head. And now I got to remember what the hell it was, but but it is. It's like watching a movie in your own mind. It's incredible.
That's true. And I didn't want to be labeled as a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
So, so you have to. So I thought I've written these other books like here's Anger Tree. I thought it was going to be a kid's book,
Yeah.
but it turns out it's a very angry guy, little boy, and he's always angry. And finally, he comes up to this tree, and he hits it. He says, everybody hates me. And the tree starts talking to him. He said, I'm
Okay.
your anger tree.
Okay.
And then this thing, Dixie World, was about an immortal being.
Okay.
And, I wrote this book in 3 months,
Okay.
500 pages of book, but
Wow, that's
a lot
pretty
of
good.
you write about three to 5,000 words a day, and sometimes
Yeah.
you forget where you are. You're writing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I
wait a
know.
minute, I'm in China. I'm
Yeah.
in a lot. I can't leave my. That was. I tell you what, the Chinese, they tested everybody in the country every day.
Oh, you're talking about, oh, wow. You're talking about during the COVID pandemic. That's what you're
Tell
talking
me
about.
about it. Yeah, I'm in my apartment, and there's this guy, and it reminds you of a Monty Python movie. And he said, "Bring out your dead, bring out your dead." It means everybody has to go out, line up, get tested. You have to show your phone, and They tested 2.5 million people in my town. I live in a small town. 2.5 million is
Wow.
small in
Wow.
China.
Wow.
They tested everybody in the country every day.
That's incredible.
The vaccine, I was vaccinated. I got COVID, but it wasn't. But come on, it's better than dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the Chinese, I give them credit for that. They did something about it.
That's amazing. I got COVID too towards the end of it, and it was a mild case, but they told me to take Paxlovid and if I could tolerate it. And I got to tell you, I could not tolerate it. It was nasty stuff. It was worse than the ailment was.
I
Um,
would take this is Yin Xiao Sun right here. This is a Chinese medicine. It's made from forsythia and honeysuckle fruit, and it's a great antiviral for upper respiratory infections.
no kidding.
But medicine is cheap here. Just
Well, that's
you'd
good.
be
That's
surprised.
good. That's good.
I
All
mean, I
right.
bought.
So you got Trump going to Alcatraz. What happens to him in Alcatraz?
Okay, but first he's going cell to cell because he doesn't want to clean up his house.
All right.
And then all of a sudden he says, "Wait a minute."
He's
He
the
said,
only prisoner in the place, right?
they have deliveries every maybe once or twice a month. Just they monitor what he's got,
All
and
right.
then and that they got the place mined. They have a system. He has a water maker, all this sort of stuff on the rock. And then one day they notice he grows a beard. His hair is white like it's supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
And then one day they notice they're monitoring. They have a guy in a room monitoring his wife
Yeah.
and him and all this kind of stuff. The ex-wife who is making money off of T-shirts that she sells with him like
Right.
this. And anyway, he changes. So he shaves his head. He
All right.
starts running. He runs around the island a couple of times a day. He
Okay.
goes swimming in shark infested water. Then they
Oh my
send the
God.
assassin, and then he starts making he starts putting trophies up. He watches Rambo movies and
Okay.
stuff like that. And then now this is where there are about four twists in the book. And
All right.
all of a sudden he wakes up. He wakes up and he realizes that he's in Florida,
Okay.
not in Mar-a-Lago,
All right.
but in northern Florida. And so there's a lot of little things that are going on,
Hmm.
and that surprised me. That part, but people love it. The fact that Trump gets stuck in prison,
Yeah.
which he, I
That's
mean,
where it belongs. But now that he won this election, it looks like that's over with to me.
yeah, but the thing is though, Edmund Burke, a political theorist, said evil prevails when good men fail to act, and that's the problem. That nobody's acting. But I was talking to some Chinese teachers yesterday. We had some event at the school. It's a medical school.
Mm.
Sometimes I teach medicine. And
All right.
anyway, I said, she said, what do you think about Trump? I said, I hate the guy. They said, we love him. I said, why? They said, we don't take him seriously. That's the thing. They say he's funny. He
Yeah.
lies all the time. They know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But Napoleon said, never interfere with your enemy when he's in the process of destroying himself.
That's what he's doing. I know that here in South Carolina, which is huge Trump country, people are saying, "Oh, this bit about the tariffs and this bit about the immigration, what do you call it? He's kicking out everybody out of the country."
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
Haitians are running
yeah. They don't think they
out of
think that
dogs. Like,
they believe that's nothing but a negotiating ploy. That he really isn't going to impose those tariffs. He's going to get what he wants from those countries and won't have to impose those tariffs. And therefore, he's working magic that nobody else had the guts to do. That's their line of thinking, which is just total crap, in my opinion.
it is, and
Yeah.
he's thinking, okay, I want people to come and start their companies in America. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, let's go to Detroit to a closed down, a shut down auto company, and let's make cell phones. Oh, it's nothing to it. We push a few buttons, and voila, making phones.
Right.
He doesn't. Come on, he's
Yeah.
the
I
guy
know.
doesn't think half a move ahead.
Yeah, I know. I
It's
know.
a where I thought that this was going to be what they call that catastrophe. It's a government run by incompetence.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me
So
ask you this. You wrote this book before the election.
yeah,
Were you anticipating that Harris would win when you did that? That's what I did when I produced Hijacked Nation. I figured that Harris was going to win and that the book would be a good explanation of how that all happened because of all the misdeeds that Trump committed all the way through the past couple years. Now that didn't happen and that Trump won, to me, the book that I did is a good predictor of what people can expect from him going forward. And they need to pay attention to those things. What about you in your case with your book?
I looked at it like I said. I looked at it from a logistical point of view. As
Yeah,
what would you do? You can't have Secret Service around in a penitentiary all the
right.
time. Eventually, even if you had him in solitary, eventually somebody's going to get it.
It's
But
like sending Secret Service agents to prison,
exactly, and
you
then
know?
but Harris. This was before the situation with Harris. The problem is, though, Trump had been campaigning for 3 years,
Yeah.
and she had 180 days.
Yeah.
I think if she'd have done a second debate, if they had done a second debate, it would have been different. But people were worried about the price of bacon. You
Yeah, that's
know,
exactly right. That's what they were worried about and not paying a bit of attention to the long-term implications of what this guy wants to do.
yeah.
Um,
We're saying like in Europe, we say Putin wants a pizza. He wants a piece of Ukraine, a piece of Poland, a piece of this, a piece of
uh,
that. Yeah, he wants a pizza. And
yeah,
Trump doesn't understand that Putin. Come on, him. When we know what Putin is, he's KGB.
yeah,
But that's the thing. Trump likes to be around people with power, especially you remember all the generals that he hired and fired.
right.
And say you're more powerful than me, but I have more power than you, so bye bye. I can
Yeah,
fire you.
exactly.
He loves
Exactly.
power. He
Now,
really
now,
does.
is your book written for Trumpers or Trump haters or both?
It's written for, to be honest with you, it's written for Trump haters.
Okay.
Really.
Hmm.
But the weird part about it, you can always find something that people will like about it. But I think I've got a degree. One of my degrees is in political science,
Uh,
and we learned about how things work. And
yeah,
if Trump had just taken one class in political
yeah,
science,
yeah,
he would have the thing about checks and balances figured out. He wants to be king.
yeah. He does. Exactly
And
right. Yeah, yeah,
George
exactly.
Washington, they offered that to George Washington, if everybody knows. And he said, no, this is not, we're trying to get out of being about this monarchy. I don't want to do that. And he didn't want any political parties.
Uh-huh.
But now a lot of people have no idea why they're Republican or why they're Democrat.
That's true.
And
That's really
but
true.
but here is the one party system,
Yeah.
and
How do
it
you feel?
works.
How do you feel about that? You talked to me about restrictions that you face, And it sounds like that's nothing. I couldn't stand to have my movements restricted that way.
No, it's like it's not what you think. You would
No?
think when I first came to China the first time, I went to a book show. My publisher was because two of my books are written, have been translated into Chinese,
Okay.
and I was living in Korea, and I said, well, I'll just buzz on over to Beijing for the book show, and then do a tour of the Great Wall the next day and come right back.
Hmm.
But when I got here, I saw all these people selling stuff on the street, and I said, where's the socialism? It's like America, it's a mixed economy. I don't feel I'm not in danger. I can walk down the street any time of the day or night. Nobody messes with me. It's sure the system is different. You can vote for anybody except president.
Okay.
And to be a member of the party, you don't sign a paper and give them some money. It takes years to join the party because you have to go through all this training. You have to be of moral fortitude and all this kind of stuff.
Huh.
It's not what people think. China is just to live here among the people is nothing like you'd expect.
Yeah.
It's a completely different situation. It's cheap. One thing, it's cheap as hell to live.
Why isn't
I've
it
all,
why isn't it what you would expect? What's
well,
different?
it's just okay. People get a little bit of information and they make it into a lot of information.
All right.
And I've been here for about 10 years. I've lived in several different places, including Inner Mongolia, and the people have always been good to me. I haven't received any form of prejudice whatsoever, probably
Okay.
because of my height and my hair color. But
Uh-huh.
no, nobody messes with me. And they think that they really like to talk to foreigners.
They
And
like to talk to what?
they love to talk to foreigners.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's not if people don't take my photo at least once a day, I feel left out. They say, here, kiss my baby. Here's a hamburger, and
Oh
it's
shit.
uh,
They're taking your picture just because you're a foreigner?
yeah, it's like bird watching. Hey, there's a foreigner. There's a foreigner. Here, quick! I had people follow me,
It's like
and I
bird
said, and
watching.
finally I turned around. I said, take the damn picture. Okay. Next thing you know, you're all over the internet, and they said there are very few at our school. We have 450 foreigners, but they're mostly from India,
Uh-huh.
Bangladesh, Pakistan,
Uh-huh.
and but they're they're starting to be doctors. You don't
Yeah.
see any Westerners.
You said a minute ago that Chinese people think Trump is pretty much of a joke. Not that
Yeah,
he's stupid as a joke, but just not serious. Is that what you
that's a
meant?
gift.
Yeah.
But
What do they think about his plans for tariffs?
no, come on, the Chinese can sell to anybody they want to. They can sell to Japanese, Koreans, anybody they
Yeah.
want to. If you want to shoot yourself in the foot, yeah. My suggestion to all these people listening would be go to the dollar store, which will be called the $3 store next year,
Uh-huh.
and buy up all the stuff you need for years and years. Because if come on, Trump, you're saying, let me see, if I impose a 50% tariff on this, it's going to cost the wholesaler more. Look at
Right.
if you go to Walmart, what do you see that's made in America? I saw American flags
Yeah.
made in China,
Sure.
and yeah, and because it's cheaper. But if you double the price, you think that the wholesaler is going to say, "Oh no, it's going to be okay. We don't
Yeah.
want to hurt everybody." So anyway, and the retailers and all these people sell it, and people are going to say, "Here's a $10 toy that's now 15 or $20."
Cars.
Yeah.
Think about the
Oh
cars.
man,
You know what? I just bought a new Ford Mustang electric.
way to go.
Yeah, it's really sweet. Anyway, that car was priced originally at 46 grand. What's he talking? 20% on Chinese
Oh,
goods?
geez. I mean, I've
Imagine
heard,
imagine what that $46,000 car is going to cost next year.
yeah.
It's going to be what, 60 or 70. And
Oh yeah,
and and Ford will have to discontinue it because people won't pay that much for it.
and obviously Trump did not read Dale Carnegie's books, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure. And you know what? If people stop buying those cars and the manufacturing companies stop producing those cars because there's no market for them anymore, all those people that make those cars in the United States that assemble them with Chinese goods are going to be out of work. And so there goes his magic economy that he's been talking about. There it
Oh,
goes
but
out
look,
the window.
he gets to get rid of all the immigrants, and that way you have these people that are picking vegetables for $15 an hour
Yeah.
out there in the field. Oh, I'm sure they're going to want to do that.
Oh, of course. Yeah. You know what? I lived in Maryland for a long time, and hardshell crabs are the big industry there in parts of Maryland on the Eastern Shore. And that's all Trump country. Now, who picks the meat out of those shells? The immigrants. Americans
Yeah.
don't want to have anything to do with it. They tried it and it didn't work. And so now all of these, I don't know if they're documented or undocumented, but I know one thing, they're scared shitless that they're going to get thrown out of the country. I have a friend who is a dreamer, and he
Okay.
can't, his parents brought him here when he was a little boy. And but he's not documented. He was working in a Mexican restaurant here in Myrtle Beach, saved up his money, and he and two partners have opened this absolutely beautiful high-end Mexican restaurant here.
Wow.
He's the proprietor of it. He owns it, and he's afraid he's going to get kicked out of this country. Now,
Now
what
here,
is that?
yeah, go figure. Here you can own a business, but you can't own the property,
Okay.
which is okay. You wouldn't believe, and these people work 7 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Banks are open 7 days a week most of the time.
Yeah.
But still, you're right. It's business about let's just round them all up. That didn't that happen in a little place called Warsaw, Poland?
Yeah. Didn't
Put
it?
them in small places.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody said the other day, I think it was on Bill Maher's show, said that Trump is like Hitler without an agenda,
Yeah.
which is, but it's really fascinating the how things could happen.
Yeah.
And he's getting everybody together. All these, at least Gaitz is gone, but Gaitz knew that if he stayed in Congress, then they'd open up this investigation against him. So he's not stupid.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Gates quits his seat in Congress. He's been under investigation for all this stuff. He quits
And
his seat because he's been named Attorney General, and then he gets that yanked out from underneath him. Now he's out of Congress totally. And everybody on the Hill is all happy because I hate the son of a bitch.
yeah, oh God, yeah,
What a weasel. He's just a weasel, in my opinion.
yeah. And
Anyway, I wanted to ask you what the Chinese people think about these tariffs, or don't they care?
I don't think they've gotten that far with it yet because, like I said, they don't take Trump seriously.
All right, all right.
They say he's funny, and they know he
Oh,
lies
geez.
all the time, but they look at him as okay, that's just Trump, and
Yeah. Do they think
okay,
that supposed shooting in Butler, PA was staged, or do they think that it was real?
it's hard to see. To me, that was a pretty easy shot.
Yeah,
It was 200 meters or so, or less than that. It was nothing to it, and
yeah, yeah. But the
an
thing
AR.
is that how can you believe that he was actually hit in the ear with an AK-47 bullet? And that all it did was cause a little bit of a little bleed that was covered up with a Band-Aid.
That was a
Uh,
beauty. That was good. I see it my other agents online. I see her name up there. That's good.
I don't know. I
But
don't know. I have a hard time believing that really was real. But then we had somebody that was killed. So there was a shooter, that's for sure. The
yeah,
just question is, was it staged? And what really hit Trump's ear? But he
Trump has
sure, whatever it was, he sure managed to make the most out of it. Yeah.
we know that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about it, about those complexes that you've mentioned to me. Tell me about
Yeah.
that.
Okay, imposter phenomena. He's afraid that somebody's going to figure out that he doesn't know nearly about something as he claims to.
All right.
The Messiah complex. He's the persecuted one. Everybody's out to get him. Blah blah blah.
All right.
He's the martyr. He's got this issue with size. Mm.
Yeah, he does.
Everything's about size. He's a trophy hunter. That's why it goes with the 30,000 for one night with a porn star. God, come on.
It's I guess he probably regrets that he did that because it's cost him one hell of a lot, not only in terms of money, but it also almost cost him the presidency.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
But
just
people,
ridiculous. You know what? That's what cracks me up because they're accepting him doing that, and yet m most of the people, or many of the people that do accept that, are Christian evangelicals.
yeah, and
I don't understand how they can reconcile that.
thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Don't lie.
Don't lie.
He lied 30,000 times. I can't, I miss the lies. But the president of Mexico said he lied to her, said they're going to shut down the border. I thought, the fact checkers are now out of work.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, I want to switch signals a little bit if we can. I want you to tell me what it's like to be an American doctor practicing Chinese medicine on Chinese patients. Was there a bit of a learning acceptance curve there? Did you have trouble getting people to believe, oh, this guy can really do this?
That's a hell of a question because initially they say, "Oh, he'll have round eyes. He must be him, not me." But anyways, they looked at me. They said, "You don't look like Chinese." I said, so I checked this lady's pulse.
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, you're depressed for one thing." And one lady, I said, "Wait a minute, you got some problem. Feels like you've got some issues going on at home because this pulse here is weak. This one is strong." I said, "Are you going through a divorce?" And she said, "How'd you know?" And she said, "But the pulse doesn't lie." And then I said, "Okay, you got some neck pain here. I checked this pulse. Okay, you're hungry and this other stuff. I'm checking. The pulse tells everything. I don't have to speak Chinese, which my Chinese is worse than terrible.
Wow.
But anyway, I said, no big deal. And once you establish credibility, then people figure it out. And my method of needle insertion is completely different than the Chinese put it in manually. It's slow. Whereas whereas like here, see, I got some needles here. I'll put one in myself and show you people. Okay, I use a guide tube, which makes you put it in. I had a guy, old man I was working on, had a frozen shoulder, and I'm working on him outside out in the hallway. Didn't have room for didn't have a table available. I said, "I'll do it." So anyway, I have this little guide tube here. I don't know if you can see it. It's shorter than a needle. Here's a needle.
All right. Wow.
As thick as a hair. You
Yeah.
put the needle in fast, otherwise, and then say, I'm going to put a point right here and say, I hadn't felt it yet. Everybody see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, this point is used, they call it eliminate wind. If a person's got a itching all over, then you put this point and it helps clear out the problem.
No
And I'm
kidding.
putting in about an inch or so.
Yeah. Does that hurt?
And no, if you do it quickly, you don't feel a thing. I put 5 needles in this guy and he said, "When are you going to put a needle in?" I said,
Oh, yeah.
5 in you now. If you've done it, and so there's no bleeding.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you do it quickly, they don't feel a thing. And I've done it more than once. And then, of course, here's the model of all the points. You don't use them.
Oh, wow.
There are a bunch of them.
Yeah.
About 100 in the ear alone.
Wow.
But then sometimes I recommend an herbal formula. Like every morning, for example, I take ginger. Ginger is a warming herb.
Okay.
I just chop it up and swallow it. It helps me lose belly fat, which is a problem.
Really?
But because if you've got the stubborn belly fat, which is usually a cold condition, then you use just the opposite. You treat it like sunburn. If it hurt, and it's a pretty simple. Come on,
what do you mean? What did you say it was? A cold condition.
Okay, imagine, for example, a person with memory issues. If they're continuing to eat cold food and drink cold liquids and stuff like that, all that's going to do is make the blood flow slower.
Oh, okay.
So you give them hot, spicy food, warm drinks and stuff like that. It increases the blood flow.
Okay.
And things like that. That's what you want to do. You want to do just the opposite of the problem.
Okay.
And and for memory issues, they say ginkgo is okay, but it's a little slow. I like gotu kola, which is English mineral. I've got some here. This is gotu kola.
Okay.
And you take this, you chew on the leaf like that, and you it gives more blood. It adds more blood to the. It creates more blood flow to the brain.
Yeah.
And if you can get the raw plant, it's going to work more effectively.
Okay. Where do you get that?
That's and or you can use a combination. What I like to use for depression, I use dark chocolate and coffee.
Dark chocolate and coffee.
Yeah, strong
For,
coffee or tea.
for
It
the
increases a lot more blood flow to the brain, and it works like a charm.
no kidding. So mix dark chocolate with tea?
Strong tea, anything with caffeine.
Anything with
With more
caffeine.
caffeine. It
Yeah.
works like a charm. I love it because
No
it works
kidding.
like a charm for me.
No kidding. And it helps
Yeah,
with memory issues?
yeah, memory and because what you're doing, you want to increase more blood flow to the brain.
Okay.
And once you do that, then because you'll notice a person with memory problems, their hands and feet are cold,
Uh-huh.
which means they need to have more blood flow, more heat in the system. The ginger
Wow.
works, hot peppers and things like that. That's just I've done this for 25 years,
Okay.
and I'm still figuring it out. But the thing is, though, you always surround yourself with people smarter than you. And I worked with this brilliant guy. He's an herbalist. He's probably forgotten more than I'll ever know. His name is Dr. Tong.
Uh-huh.
Brilliant guy. If anybody wants to go to a Chinese doctor in America, first of all, ask them. If they talk about money first, forget it. Ask them, do you have some patients I can talk to? If they say no, forget it.
Okay.
They should be, and if they need to check your pulse to see what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This tells everything. If they don't do
Okay.
that, then forget it.
Uh-huh.
But if they start talking, it's going to take X number of treatments. With me, I usually hope, I said, I hope it'll take one treatment, hopefully.
You hope they'll what?
But I hope, with my case, I'm shooting for one treatment.
Okay.
But if they say it's going to take 10 treatments, how do we know? And I'll tell you, if anybody wants to know why did I get into Chinese medicine, I had 3 undergraduate degrees. I had horticulture, environmental design, and political science.
What, you couldn't figure out what you wanted to be or what?
Yeah, it wasn't like I was schizophrenic or anything like that, but
Yeah.
everybody's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
And normal is boring. Look at things.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, I started having headaches, bad
Uh-huh.
headaches.
Okay.
I went to this doctor. He gave me medicine, and you're walking around like a zombie, but you still have headaches. Went to this doctor. Finally, a friend of mine that owned a Chinese restaurant, and he was Chinese. He said, go to my doctor. He's Chinese. So I went to Atlanta, Chinatown, and went to the guy. Cured me like that.
No kidding.
I said, he was from Taiwan.
Huh.
And if you want to talk about Taiwan, what the Chinese think about it, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
But
All right, we're running into a time issue, but I wanted to give you a chance to talk a little bit. I know you showed us some of your books early on, but you've got some new ones on the market, right?
I've had some out. You put my name, John H. out there, or contact my publisher of Strategic Books, and they can wade you through this. But let's see, I got the Trump book we saw.
Okay.
Alcatraz awaits the legacy of Donald Trump.
Right. They're all on Amazon, right?
Oh yeah, I saw them on Walmart.
Yeah.
You go to Walmart and download the thing. I've got a children's book, Scary Terry. That's I wrote in one day.
Okay.
Then let's see, Anger Tree. I really loved Anger Tree. That was fun.
Yeah.
All right. World.
Okay.
That's, an immortal being.
That's cool. As I said, I'm going to put links, Amazon links for all your books in the description.
One under a pen name E.J. Hunter is called Pest Control.
Oh, okay.
By E.J. It's about an assassin.
Oh, okay. All right.
A professional assassin.
Okay.
And he's the baddest of the bad. But
okay.
I usually write about me.
Do you? Yeah.
It's because I am the anger tree. I am the immortal. I'm not Donald Trump, thank God.
That's a good thing.
If that was the case, I'd have a gene transplant.
Yeah, there you go. All right, John. Listen, I appreciate you coming on. It's been a fun conversation.
And
And, what do you got
this is
there?
good. Good luck. This foo, the foo symbol, it means good luck.
Oh, okay. All right.
So these are everywhere. I think
Okay.
here's a big
All right. Okay.
I go outside and wave a dead chicken out in the middle of the night just to bring in more luck. Wow, great meeting.
Okay, John. All right, my friend. Listen, I appreciate you coming on. It's been fun talking to you. And we've been carrying on, you and I have been carrying on a email conversation now for what, a month or so. And
Easily.
and I've enjoyed that. And stay in touch, my friend.
Please do. Yeah, I'd like to be on again if people want me on again.
Maybe we can make that happen. I'm going through a metamorphosis with my podcast. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do to keep it relevant. And given the change in the White House and what the best approach is and all that. And for anybody, for you guys listening, I'm going to be doing a little poll I'm going to put out on YouTube and my website, and I'm going to be asking you guys for some guidance in terms of what you think would be a good plan. Right now, I'm doing 2 interview episodes a week, which is a little much. I also like doing commentary. That takes time. I like doing video shorts. They all take time. I'm getting ready to launch a newsletter. That's going to take time. So guidance would be appreciated. I don't want to do all this work and not have it meeting the needs of the people who care about all these things. So anyway, thanks for letting me put that little plug in. And
Been the greatest honor.
yeah. All right, John, listen, thank you, my friend. And I'll be in touch and we'll go from there. Okay.
As they say in Chinese, 谢谢, 再见.
All right. Thank you. Hey, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Lean to the Left video and you found it interesting and informative. Please visit on a regular basis and check out our interviews with guests on topics that focus on progressive politics and the important social issues of our time. Now, our interview shows stream on Mondays with special episodes on Thursdays. And follow us on social media. Facebook at Bob Gaddy and the Lean to the Left podcast. Now, it's 2. Bob Gaddy is 1 Facebook page, and the Lean to the Left podcast is a 2nd Facebook page. Twitter at Lean to the Left 1. Instagram at Lean to the Left 1. TikTok at Lean to the Left. LinkedIn at Bob Gaddy. And YouTube at Lean to the Left. Now, I hope you'll support Lean to the Left as well so we can keep things going. Just click on the Donate tab at the top of the leantotheleft.net homepage and contribute by buying me a cup of coffee. That'll really help and would be much, much, much appreciated. Now, this is Bob Gaddy signing off for Lean to the Left. Thanks for sharing your time with us.